Well, I'm sure you realize that if I'd have been bigger and stronger, I'd have been a lot more involved in athletics after high school than I was. I dreamed of going, I still dream of going to professional football games. Boy, do I appreciate all those fine coverages on television. We couldn't afford for me to go to any Bronco games when we were at Evergreen. It just was out of reach. But lucky for me, big day, big day, came about because our junior high quarterback's dad was a golf pro at Highwan Hills. And it was known that the Bronco owner, Bronco coach, probably brought up a third, came up and played golf. I'm thinking that probably the fourth was the pro, the boy's dad. And out of that companionship, out of appreciation probably for the good job he did with them in giving them help in their golfing game, we suddenly found that we, the junior high football team, the coaches, and the administration, were invited passes to the Denver Bronco against the Fish, those Miami guys. Those guys that they got stuck with the guy that we were unhappy with, Cookie Gilchrist. You know, you don't go to the games, but you read all the stuff. Listen to the radio. I don't think there was much television coverage back then. Well, Cookie Gilchrist had a contract. He'd been a bad boy for somebody else, but still he was a hot shot ball carrier. And apparently they had given him a personal automobile as part of the deal to be a Bronco. I think it was a Cadillac, but the big fancy car didn't go with Cookie. It was being given away that day, I think, as a door prize. I don't guess we got to participate in that. Of course not. Big crowd. Game got underway. Our trip down in the bus, we all went in one bus. And everybody was sociable, friendly, polite. You know, it's going to be a wonderful day. What a deal. Well, we get there and the game starts. They seat us in the north end zone. Now, the south end zone, even then, had a reputation of being the rowdies and very hard to score down there because they would raise such a fuss. I guess they were kind of like those hound dogs and so on at Cleveland. They were far enough away I couldn't tell much about them, but they were noisy, and this game was close. It got just downright exciting. I'm riveted on the game. I'm assuming every player is sitting right there, every coach right there, and riveted on the game. Gets towards the end of the game, and some calls were made by the officials that were not popular with the people in the stands, the ones that were for the Broncos, and there was some rudeness. There was actually some throwing of bottles and stuff down at the field like they were going to hit the officials. I don't think anybody could throw that far and that well, but you know, it was a protest and it was rude. Bad attitude developing. Right down close to the very end of the game, Denver scored and was able to hold off and win. But it was in question right down to the end, and it hadn't ended yet. And all of a sudden, and everybody else on our end zone and the whole area down in that end couldn't help but hear a chant that went up. Let the kid go! Let the kid go! Over and over. And you get to looking down there, my God. There's a police officer down on the field. There's a whole ring of police officers around the field. But that police officer is holding a kid that looks like Roger Young, our neighbor. It is Roger Young. About that time the horn sounds in the game. The officer let him go, and he takes off. and is lost immediately in a melee of, I'm going to guess, 3,000 to 8,000 people stormed the field from all over, north end zone, south end zone, both sides, east and west. A mob. If you'd have stumbled in that mob, you could have easily been tromped to death. That's an uneasy feeling. And you think, should I get up and, oh my God, you look around and well over half of the team isn't there with you. The coaches are, and they're as dumbfounded as I am. And we hold a quick little idea conference, shall we run out there and try to retrieve our players? You'd just be part of the mess. So we sit there like bumps on a log. And I'm thinking, oh, Lord, don't let some kid fall and get injured or killed. Oh, and look what they're doing down there. The south goalpost drew, I suppose, 2/3 or better of the crowd. I guess maybe we'd scored our last touchdown down there. They demolished those goalposts in short order. Hundreds of people climbing and holding on to each other, and others up there holding on the crossbar, get it to bend, and the first thing you know, they've got it bent enough that they start bending over the goalposts. They literally broke all 3 bars, and they were at one point bending an arm, an upright, back and forth to break it loose, I suppose, from the ground, just like I used to bend a piece of baling wire to get the length I wanted to do a little repair out on the farm. Oh, Lord, if a kid gets an arm, a leg, a finger in between those 2 pinch bars as they come together, to cut it off, dang well going to do great damage. This is a bad, bad situation, and you sat here and let it happen. Yeah, but I was watching the ball game. But is that an excuse? Well, they get both. They got the south goalpost torn up first. Then those rowdies down there ran to the other end to help with this, and we're watching. Never did see one of our kids. I don't know who is the leader. Didn't try to find out. Plenty of blame resting on my shoulders, and if that happens, you can't be looking to blame somebody else. Never did see one of our kids. I suspicion that once they got the south goalpost down, that they stayed down in that area for a while. Because we're watching, now they're destroying the north goalpost. I don't think it took more than 30, 40 minutes. The whole thing is over, the thing is clearing out, and we haven't seen our kids. What the heck is going on? And here they come marching up from the field, and I don't know, 8 or 10 or 12, I don't know, a whole bunch of them. Hold of the goalpost, and it's on their shoulders, and they come up in there chanting, "We got a goalpost, we got a goalpost." I guess I was in shock. Any administrator should have known to say, turn around, lay that thing down, get in that bus, and we'll talk later. I did nothing except count kids. We had already started, and that's where my concern was. Are the kids safe? We'd already gotten out a roster and checked off the ones that were still with us, that weren't out in that mess. Didn't do it in order to get after anybody. Worried. My Lord, do you suppose we're going to get home with everybody? So now my goal was get up there, and they took that goal post out and up. I didn't even think what they're going to do with it. The time we're up to the bus, some of the kids, we motioned them over, and we got them checked off right there. We get up to the bus, they have got the goal post in the bus. Oh, brother. Time's running out on this one. See you on the next one.